Welcome to Rune Conversations, where ancient wisdom becomes practical power. If you are ready to think clearly, act consciously, and strengthen your own sphere of influence, you are in the right place. It is an achievement to have mastered the first 6 runes of the Armanen footwork. But this is where most people get it wrong. It is only the beginning. We have walked here in Rune Conversations through the first 6 of the sacred 18 Armanen runes, starting with the rune Fa and ending with the rune Ka. If you were to complete the basic rune course of Karl-Heinz Wells within the Knights of Runes, you would at this point stand as one initiated as a Knight of Runes, recognizing that you've got the skill to use the runes. In this moment, it's a time to pause, to stand still, and to reflect on your own progress. So let's take a look at what have we learned in these first 6 runes. Knowledge, yes, but more importantly, skill. We've learned to embody the rune. With the rune Fa, we learn to relax, to know what we want in life, and to take the first step. With Fa, we learn to draw power, to open ourselves to unlimited potential, and to awaken the will to change perception and circumstances. The rune Fa reminds us that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Then we moved into the rune Ur. Heal yourself first. Keep your vision clear. Focus your intent. With Ur, we discovered the container, the ability to hold and intensify energy in its latent state, before manifestation. Ur reminds us to consider the cost and the consequence of what we seek to achieve. Then the rune Thorn taught us to protect ourselves. Move with consistency. Hold your aim steady. With Thorn, we stepped into force, projecting energy as both a splitting power and a field of protection. Thorn reminds us that every action carries a reaction. Then we move to the rune Os, which teaches us to know ourselves, to free ourselves from limitations and outdated beliefs, to focus fully, to speak your desired outcome with clarity and conviction, to let word and deed align. With us, we gave the force expression, breaking the inner limitations and embodying the rune through breath, posture and behavior. Us reminds us to move in truth. Then, the rune Read teaches us to observe ourselves, to align timing, resources, circumstances and intent. It taught us to move with opportunity, that timing is everything. With the rune Read, we awaken to rhythm, realizing that power is not only what we do, but when we do it. The rune Read reminds us that there is a right way and a wrong way. Choose the way where all aligns. Finally, we stepped into the rune Ka, and it taught us to be ourselves. Not to hesitate and not to overthink when action is needed, but to act when the moment calls. Learn to live in the moment just before you act. With the rune Ka, we crossed into action, breaking inertia, dissolving procrastination, and stepping into the moment where manifestation truly begins. The rune Ka reminds us where there is no action, there is no outcome, there is no failure in action, only movement that needs to be redirected. Because manifestation does not live in thought, it lives in action. We have to draw the energy, accumulate it, aim, focus, align, and then act. Let me give you a picture. It's like an archer drawing a bow. You draw with far. You reach back and take hold of the string. You draw from your full potential. Then with you accumulate. The tension builds in the bow. You gather your desire and will into a single force. Then you aim. You set your direction towards the target. You choose clearly what you are moving towards. Then you focus. Your attention sharpens. Your breath steadies. You remove distraction and hold your awareness on the opening. Then with the rune read, you align the body, the breath, the timing. Everything comes into harmony. You sense the right moment when action will meet the least resistance. And then you act. You release. You commit fully without hesitation. The arrow does not reach the target because of force alone. It reaches the target because everything was aligned before the release. The runes forms anchors within us, guiding us to sense and establish the right state of being and the right sequence of action. Like the archer's movement, the rune sequence is practiced over and over again until it becomes internal, so that in the moment of action, nothing needs to be forced. We now possess the tools in the first 6 runes. We have only scratched the surface of how to use it, but progress is progress even when it's slow. You don't even have to believe in rune magic yet. Trust the process. Observe the results for yourself. And from there decide what it means. But having tools does not make us a craftsman. It does not turn us into an archer. The next 6 runes, starting with Hagel, ending with the rune Tyr, they change everything. They do not teach you how to use power. They teach you when to use it, why to use it, and what within you is worthy of wielding it. That is the self-discovery. That is the key to self-mastery. They lead you towards becoming your true, authentic self. Because power without timing is wasted, power without clarity is dangerous, and power without purpose is empty. Now, the real work begins. In the next rune, we begin to understand not just power, but destiny. If today's rune conversation gave you insight, practice it, share in the comments how this conversation speaks to you. I respond personally. Subscribe if you are committed to walking this path rune by rune. Until next time, walk in clarity.